Howdy folks, welcome to a special presentation about one player who left their mark on Roblox history in a variety of ways. Who was this player who joined September 11th, 2006, and still remains one of the oldest active accounts on the platform? Who is this builder who collaborated with one of the richest players, Stickmasterluke, to build a place for the now real billionaire CEO of Roblox back in 2008? Who is this chucklehead who was on DracoSwordMaster's very short friends list back in the day? And what are their connections to other admins, such as Eric Castle and Matt Dusek? Heck, how did they achieve over 1 million place visits and become one of the richest accounts in the game, despite being relatively inactive and unknown for the last decade? Most importantly, what happened to him? Why'd he leave? And why is he back? Well, hold your horses, I'm getting to all that. I'm Kanaju, and this is the most interesting Roblox player you've never heard of. After this quick message to my channel viewers, of course. Regular channel viewers might be a bit confused to see a Roblox video on this channel. Eagle-eyed viewers may even realize today is April Fool's Day, but believe it or not, this is no joke. Look for yourself, the very first video uploaded to this channel back in 2008 was in fact a Roblox video. If it's not your cup of tea though, please don't unsubscribe, I understand. This is sort of like, you can think of this as a holiday special. Leave a like on the video on your way out, and don't worry, we'll return to our regularly scheduled No Man's Sky and Assassin's Creed videos sooner than you think. Alright, back to the most interesting Robloxian you've never heard of. Roblox, the gaming juggernaut with over 5.7 billion, that's B as in Billy, billion user accounts, worth over 20 billion US dollars today. It began very humbly 20 years ago. In 2004, David Pitsuki and Eric Castle founded Roblox Corporation. Of course, this was following another venture, but after a couple years of development, including some beta periods, Roblox officially launched to the public on September 1st, 2006. 10 days later, history was made. User ID 3615. Username, DracoSwordMaster. Now a legendary account, joined Roblox. User ID 3615. Technically he had an older account and a couple more alts, but this was his most famous one. Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, user ID 3615. However, this video isn't about him. No, this video is about another guy who joined a little later that same day. I'm talking about user ID 3638. Username, Kanaju. Back then, mid-2006, Roblox was a much different game than it is today. For starters, there were only 8 avatar presets to choose from. Kanaju chose Figure 5 as his avatar. The game placed a copy of this player model into his inventory that's still there to this day. Nearly 18 years later, Kanaju's avatar has changed little. Well, it changed a lot over the years, but it looks almost the same as it did 18 years ago. I mean, other than the 4,000 Robux Stitch face. And of course that hat that's worth hundreds of thousands of Robux. Not to mention the priceless Veterans Medal awarded to accounts that were considered old-timers back in 2010. Well, talk about style. Alright, so in case it's not obvious, yeah, that's the same Kanaju that runs this channel. Me. it's me. Howdy folks. Yes, I used to play a lot of Roblox back in the day. I'm making this documentary now, not just because it's April Fool's, but to reminisce and to share, my experiences for posterity's sake. I know there are a ton of folks interested in Roblox's early history now, so I hope you'll enjoy my story from it. Anyway, like I was saying, Roblox was way different back in 2006. The games you could play in multiplayer were official Roblox games only. So you'd have like Crossroads, Chaos Canyon, or the community building site. Otherwise, player-built places, they were all solo experiences back then. You could only play them alone. Almost. If you wanted your personal place to be playable online with other people, there actually was a single multiplayer server that you could borrow. Now, I haven't been able to find any screenshots or really even mentions of this part of Roblox history, but it's true. There was one multiplayer server for all user-generated content in the world. So, if no one else was using the server at the time, you could upload your personal place and it would be possible for other players to join you and play together. Revolutionary, I know, right? Playing online with other people. This is actually where I met Eric Castle, one of the co-founders of Roblox back in the day. May he rest in peace. You know, Eric was my first friend on Roblox, believe it or not, and I had actually kind of forgotten that until I was looking through the Wayback Machine, researching for this video, and there he was, my first friend ahead of Builderman. Isn't that something? Anyway, back then, the starter place for all accounts was like the inside of a kid's room. I built a pretty basic version of
Kashyyyk
from Star Wars Episode 3 as my first place. If you browse my old models, you can see evidence of that old place. A model of one of these trees even sits in one of my unpublished levels, which was supposed to be like a museum of my old games. But I never published it, of course. Now, I believe Telemon also visited my place at some point in 2006, but I could be getting mixed up. You see, back in the day, you used to run into the admins all the time. If there weren't many players online, they might even join your games just to keep you company. I think that's why Eric joined my game. Roblox was a really comfy place back then. Alright, so I'm going to try and keep this video short by just focusing on the most significant events throughout the years from this point on. I built literally dozens and dozens of unique games and places, always trying to push the envelope of what was possible, but that stuff can be its own video. So let's just go year by year, the most significant events. It's 2007. Roblox was transforming at an unbelievable rate. I was playing almost daily at this time, and I can't believe the Wayback Machine actually captured a screenshot of my profile in January of 2007. The next capture in August 2007 shows how far both the game and myself had come in that short amount of time. Also, I want to apologize in advance because I'm going to be showing a bunch of screenshots, and I used to misspell a lot of words when I was a kid. So please ignore the typos if you can. It was a different time. I was a different person. You'll notice that custom avatars are now a thing, for one. I branded myself with my CCC Inc. logo. Now, I could make a whole video about CCC Inc., my own company I started in the second grade, I want to say, and it was actually older than Roblox itself. I used to produce things physically. Back on Roblox, I used to make everything CCC Inc. themed, right? I had a company and everything. I even made a website. Funny enough, I sort of disbanded it before groups became a feature on Roblox, so that ship had kind of sailed, but rest assured, the company had no shortage. And I never really told anyone what the CCC stood for. A few people asked, but they're just my initials. My dad thought it would be cool to give me CCC for initials, so he did. And I was very proud of my initials. Anyways, two very important things happened just before the close of 2007. Firstly, I won a blue steel bat helm in the first ever Roblox costume contest. However, since Roblox deleted all of its old blog posts, I can't find the very specific post announcing it. But rest assured, the blue steel bat helm is in my inventory, so, there's your proof. Sadly, my little bro also dressed up, but he only won the jester hat. And I remember he was kind of bitter at the time because he actually put more effort into his costume than I did. He covered his arms in paper and stuff so it looked like he was a full Roblox character. The other big event was the founding of the Roblox Times, a division of CCC Inc., in December of 2007. The Roblox Times was my attempt at building a Roblox news and fan content site. One of the first Roblox fan sites ever, actually. Unbelievably, and honestly unbelievably, the original WordPress site is still live right now, to this day. It's a time capsule to that more innocent era. Much like a lot of my other Roblox endeavors, it reached its peak in 2008. So in no particular order, let's quickly cover a bunch of crazy stuff that happened in 2008. I promise this is where things get really interesting. So, firstly, I won my Ice Crown in the Winter Wonderland contest as a top 34 winner. That actually kicked off my obsession with collecting crowns, but that's not going to be a topic of this video. And hey, look, Stickmasterluke also won a crown. Neat. Wonder if we'll see him again, he said, foreshadowingly. That year, they also held a contest to design Builderman's next place. So back then, Builderman was automatically added as a friend to every new account that joined Roblox. So everyone saw Builderman's places, right? He's the first friend you have, so as soon as you make your account, you click him and you see his places. Plus, he was the CEO of Roblox. So the opportunity to design a place that important, for me, it was like the opportunity of a lifetime, right? Tons of talented folks submitted their designs, tons. I don't know where my sketches are, but I designed a skyscraper in the shape of the Roblox R, and I submitted both interior and exterior blueprints. Pretty simple in retrospect, right? But I thought it could be iconic. Long story short, the more original ideas ended up winning out. I did get an honorable mention though, and I even ended up building it myself for fun, because I wanted to see what it looked like, and I had too much free time back then. Now, despite not winning, I couldn't even be upset, because while my design wasn't chosen, I was. You see, each winning design was to be built by a separate team of runner-ups. You probably know where this is going. Stickmasterluke, his design won, and I was placed on his team. By a stroke of luck, one of my best friends at the time, Bergley, also made the same team. Now, I wasn't used to collaborative building, and even as a young adult, I didn't do great with group projects in college, but the end result wasn't too bad. I don't know if it lived up to Stickmasterluke's vision, since the original image is no longer visible, but I do think it was a fun place to explore and brick battle, in the end. Luke also contributed as we neared the deadline, because I think we were having a bit of trouble getting it done. But in a nutshell, that's how I collaborated with Stickmasterluke on a place for Roblox's CEO account. Now, I do have something I need to get off my chest about this experience. It's kind of been eating me up since 2008. Well, not really, but it's a little weight I'd like to get off my chest. Like I said, I wasn't great at group projects. I was like 13 or 14 back then. I didn't know how to collaborate properly. And I did complain in the group note, which is embarrassing to read now as an adult, but that's not what's been eating me up. Stickmasterluke, if you're watching this, which I don't know why you would be, but if you are, like if someone sent this to you, or, that's not important. Luke, I would like to apologize because I overrode one of the changes you made at one point. I don't recall exactly what it was. I think it was like a platform or something you added, but I apologize. I was too much of a coward to admit it back then when you mentioned someone had overridden something. I hope you can forgive me. Especially since you're rich and famous and successful now. It'd be kind of messed up if you couldn't forgive a 13-year-old kid for a mistake he made in a video game like a decade ago. No, but honestly, I'm sorry about that. I was being selfish and immature. Whew. Well, felt good to get that off my chest. Let's see, what else happened in 2008? One of my reporters actually got an interview with the admin, Matt Dusick, who said he loved my Mos Eisley Capture the Flag plays. I can't believe they scored that interview, but I'm really grateful. And I'm so glad that the site's still up so I could see that, because I had completely forgotten. Telemon also commented on the site and referred to us as a, quote, major Roblox fan site, unquote. That's pretty cool. Also in 2008, I published a place with Bloxburg in the name. Civil War Battle in Bloxburg. Now, I hear that there's a game that uses
Bloxburg.
I think it's called Welcome to Bloxburg or something. That's pretty popular these days. I don't know, that's after my time. But yeah, I came up with the first Bloxburg, so, it's fine. Besides all that, though, I figured out how to build a functioning arcade within Roblox. May I present to you Roblox's first real arcade, my most popular place ever. Still active to this day, my arcade accounts for over 600,000 of my place visits. It was the first place to feature functional arcade games in Roblox history. Pretty sure that's true. It was a regular on the front page back in 2008, which, if you don't believe me, I actually found a capture on the Wayback Machine featuring my arcade on page 1. And oh look, there's Stickmasterluke too. Yeah, the arcade was kind of a big deal. So I won't give you a full history of the arcade. Again, that could be a whole video, but let me explain it briefly. So I taught myself to script back then by reverse engineering existing scripts and models. I got the idea for the arcade from Shedletsky's, back then Telemon's, Pinball Wizard's place. I was fascinated to know how the scoring worked, and as I played with it, I had the idea to miniaturize the pinball cabinet to the player scale. And it worked. Yeah, and that's right, my arcade's Pinball Wizard cabinet is actually just a miniaturized version of Shedletsky's Pinball Wizard. Thanks, John. But from there, I got the inspiration to try and make a functioning video game cabinet using the same basic principles. I figured out how to get a pixel screen to change colors and how to detect wind states in order to create my first game.
Space Ray.
I then took what I learned and applied it to other games like Donkey Kong or Dance Dance Revolution or Plinko and more. So each game awarded tickets you could exchange for prizes at the prize counter. Oh boy, was I excited. I thought it was the coolest thing ever, and folks loved it too. It made me my fortune and my fame on Roblox. I updated it regularly with the latest features, dialogue options, UI elements, badges. People made videos. It was like a little phenomenon, right? It was pretty good. After building dozens and dozens and dozens of places, I had finally found my golden goose, so to speak. And folks still play it to this day. In fact, it's received hundreds of thousands of plays in the years I was inactive, which we're getting to. But before I leave 2008 behind, there was one other significant event I have to mention. So, I was totally obsessed with Speed Racer back then, right? Who wasn't? And I still love Speed Racer. But back then, I built a series of Speed Racer tracks on Roblox. They relied heavily on drifting, right? Just like in the movie. However, a lot of players couldn't figure out how to pull that off because it was kind of a difficult move. So, I did what I'd been dreaming of doing for over a year, and I started my own YouTube channel. This YouTube channel. I published a short video about how to drift, and I shared it on the Roblox Times. Now, I could do a whole video about what I had actually planned to upload to this channel originally, but ultimately, I never published another Roblox video until today. Nearly 16 years later, if you can believe it. Jeez. After 2008, I actually seem to have slowed down quite a bit. Of course, the arcade continued to prosper, but I let CCC Inc., the Roblox Times, and my YouTube channel fall into obscurity without any further updates. My life was a bit rockier at that time, and I couldn't keep up so many extracurricular activities. I did manage to place in the top 100 for the Worlds of Wood competition, though, in 2009, but otherwise I was just vibing, I kept building more ambitious places, none of which I ever published. I still have some saved on my current laptop. Maybe I'll publish them someday. Building on Roblox remained one of my favorite hobbies. And so not much happened outside of that until 2011, when Roblox decided to hold its first ever physical event, Roblox Rally. I was so excited. Here I was, right, one of Roblox's original players, still active, and considered an innovator by some. Their words, not mine. And I could finally get to meet other players in real life, right? I could even meet some of the devs, possibly. The only problem was, I was broke, okay? I was a teenager, I couldn't afford a ticket. My dad, he worked for an airline at the time, so I could afford to fly to California free of charge. I could even scrape together enough to pay for lunch. However, I couldn't afford a ticket into the event itself. So I wrote the Roblox staff, right? I was trying to make a case for myself. I explained who I was, how important Roblox was to me, that I could fly to California and attend if they could just provide me with a ticket. Long story short, they did not provide me with a ticket. So I missed the first ever Roblox event. And believe it or not, that was kind of the turning point in my Roblox journey. For years, I'd been a huge proponent of Roblox, right? I was an early adopter, I'd built one of Builderman's places, I'd run a successful fan site, I built its first arcade, and I even had the Inviter badge. But now, and again, remember I was a teenager, it felt like I had been left behind, right? I realized that Roblox was growing larger and larger, and of course they wouldn't remember me. There are so many other more successful accounts for them to worry about, right? The population was growing, the games were getting more intricate, The products Roblox was offering were more diverse, right? I was old-fashioned and outdated, right? I liked building temples out of blocks and playing Capture the Flag. I didn't give up, though. I started working on a new place that would not only appeal to the audience of 2012 Roblox, but also demonstrate my building prowess. I was building a Fallout place set in South Texas, and it was actually off to a pretty big start, right? It was looking pretty good. But then life happened. I started university that year, and my priorities changed. I felt like I needed to focus on my future, and that really there was no future for me in Roblox. I was yesterday's news, old hat. So I went inactive, only breaking my inactivity when my account was hacked or when I felt nostalgic. And so I remained for many years. Until now. Also, don't worry, I did change my password and stuff and set up two-factor authentication after the hacks. Don't worry about that. Back on topic though, this year, I was looking for something free to play on PS5 when I saw that Roblox was now on consoles. So I downloaded it, logged in, and honestly, I felt like a kid again.
What?
Oh, I just took out a gingerbread man with a trap.
And while I am still obscure by today's standards, right, I realized that my old account is one of the strongest in the world, right? I rank around the 150
Most valuable
players in the world, according to Rollimons. Imagine that, 5.7 billion accounts, and somehow I'm ranked 153, or 157, or whatever. It depends on the day, it goes up and down. And even though my account was hacked back in the day and a lot of my items were stolen, which still bothers me, by the way, what's left is still enough to keep me in that upper echelon. And my account's still full of Robux. Plus, I have over 1 million place visits, and perhaps most importantly, I have almost 10,000 followers. There's even a page about me on the Roblox Wiki. And I didn't make that one, by the way, someone else made it. And all of that's cool, right? But what jogged my imagination was logging into Roblox and seeing Stickmasterluke at the top of the discovery page. I was like, hey, I know that guy. Anyways, long story short, I've been working on something special these past couple months. It's the most detailed, most intricate, and hopefully most fun place I've ever built. I'm proud to announce Kanaju's Keeps, a castle looter where you loot castles. It's a castle looter. Featuring a mixture of combat, exploration, and adventure gameplay. Every castle is a unique experience. Get in and try and get out alive with whatever loot you can carry. I'm excited to announce that it'll go live soon-ish, like the next 2 months. I'm working on it in my free time, right? But it's on the way. If you'd like to be the first to experience it, or just want to support my comeback because you're a cool person, please consider following my account on Roblox. I'm only a few hundred followers short of a verified badge, if you can believe it. With your help, Kanaju's Keeps has a real shot at success. Plus, if you're a fan of castles, extraction looters, or just fun games to play with friends, you won't want to miss this one. Either way, thanks for listening to my story. Yeah, it was pretty much a thinly veiled excuse to drop names for 20 minutes in a lead up to a new game announcement, but I hope you found it interesting, or at least entertaining. And for fans of my old games, I actually have another announcement. I will be updating the First Real Arcade and Obvious Obby relatively soon. I need to fix the prize counter in the arcade, and the Obvious Obby is well overdue for badges, right? Which, by the way, if you've never tried my Obvious Obby before, boy, I wish you luck. It was designed back in 2009, and it hasn't changed at all since then.
You mean process of elimination? Is that what you want from me? Oh my gosh!
That should be
again!
obvious.
How is it obvious? There's no way. There's no clues.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, it's literally just guessing. It's not even I could know.
No, you did figure it out because it was so obvious.
brilliant design. Just gaslighting the heck out of your player base.
This has got to be one of the worst design levels ever, dude. I am sorry.
This guy was roasting the Walmart level.
Wait a second. Wait a second. It is obvious.
So, if you're great at obbies, why not try this blast from the past? Also, if you love nostalgia, why not check out my happy home in Robloxia? Sure, it looks like an old default starter place, but looks can be deceiving. And hey, if you made it this far, liking the video is a huge help. I don't usually produce I don't usually produce Roblox videos, so every like, every comment is gonna do a lot to help this video succeed, so I appreciate any help you're willing to give. And hey, if you like the vibe, why not subscribe? I don't usually post Roblox videos, granted, and my next few uploads are No Man's Sky related, but hey, if you want to subscribe, I can't stop you. Also, shout out to my regular viewers and valued members of this channel who recently got me to 30,000 subscribers. Thanks everyone. I promise another No Man's Sky orbital video is coming soon. I'm already working on it. Alright, thanks folks, and until that comes out, I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye!